If you think the richest families in the world are the ones you see on magazine covers, you're about to learn a truth most people never hear. The real power on this planet doesn't belong to tech CEOs or celebrity billionaires. It belongs to a handful of families who control the resources. Every country depends on oil, metals, food, water, and energy form the foundations of modern civilization. And the people who own these resources operate far from the public eye. These families avoid interviews, never appear on Forbes lists, and maintain no public presence, yet they influence more wealth and geopolitical power than entire nations. Today, we're re-stepping inside the world of the secret billionaire families who quietly own the resources that run the world, and most people don't even know they exist. Most people misunderstand power. They think it comes from money, but money only buys comfort. Resources buy nations. When you control oil, economies listen. When you control metals, industries obey. When you control food, populations follow. And when you control water, governments kneel. These families don't chase fame or social media influence. Their objective is simple: stay invisible, stay untouchable, and stay in control. Their wealth isn't measured by what they show publicly, but by the systems they control silently. We begin with the oil dynasties. Families whose fortunes are so large, their daily earnings can outperform the GDP of small countries. Their power comes from one undeniable truth: modern life runs on oil. Everything from transportation to manufacturing depends on it. Some of these families own oil fields so vast they could supply nations for years. Others control pipelines, refineries, or massive shipping routes. And because oil is politically explosive, their ownership is shielded behind holding companies, offshore entities, and century-old trusts that never reveal a real name. They don't appear on billionaire rankings because their wealth isn't counted in dollars. It's counted in barrels. Then there are the mining empires families who control the rare metals required to power the future. Copper, lithium, cobalt, nickel, gold, and rare earth minerals make the modern world function. Smartphones, electric cars, satellites, and military equipment all depend on them. A single mine can generate billions a year, and a family that owns multiple mines commands a level of wealth far beyond any public billionaire. These families stay hidden because their influence is intertwined with national security, global supply chains, and technological competition. Whoever controls these minerals controls the future. But resource-based power does not end there. A few private families quietly dominate the global food system. They control seed patents, fertilizers, agricultural chemicals, and major grain trading networks. Farmers plant the seeds these families create, and global food prices shift according to decisions made in their private boardrooms. They don't grow food, they control food. And with that comes the ability to influence entire regions during shortages or crises, granting them a unique form of leverage that few understand. While the world debates oil and minerals, a small number of billionaire families have spent decades buying the most precious resource of all: water. They acquire rights to rivers, reservoirs, aquifers, municipal supplies, and even groundwater sources. As droughts spread and populations rise, water becomes geopolitical leverage. Countries negotiate peace, trade, and policy based on access to water, and the families who own these resources gain unimaginable influence. They remain invisible because public knowledge of water ownership sparks outrage. But quietly, they are building the empires of the future. So how do these powerful families stay hidden for generations? The answer is simple. They designed invisibility into their wealth structures. Their ownership is buried under layers of shell corporations spread across multiple jurisdictions. Trusts pass control from one generation to the next without revealing a single name. Subsidiaries own other subsidiaries in chains so complex they become impossible for the public to trace. Their meetings occur in private boardrooms, private jets, or offshore locations. Their decisions are carried out by proxies, advisors, and executives who act on their behalf. The public sees companies, brands, and industries, but never the families who quietly control them. When you control resources, you don't need fame. You don't need followers. You don't need headlines. You have leverage. The kind of leverage that shapes industries, influences governments, and determines the direction of entire economies. Public billionaires trend online, but these families don't need public attention. They own the foundations of modern civilization. Consider this example. There is a mining family almost no one has ever heard of who quietly owns one of the world's richest lithium deposits. As electric cars rise globally, this family's wealth explodes, not through public companies or celebrities, but through ownership of the metal every battery needs. They appear in no interviews, no magazines, and no public records. Their power grows in silence because their wealth is built into the structure of modern technology itself. This is how hidden empires operate. The truth is simple. The wealthiest and most powerful families in the world don't want fame. Fame is for the wealthy. Invisibility is for the powerful. You've heard of the billionaires the world talks about, but now you've seen the families the world never sees, the silent titans who control the resources every country relies on. If you want more deep dives into hidden wealth, unseen empires, and the untold stories behind global power, subscribe to the Wealth Diaries. Your journey into the world's most secret billionaire networks continues here.